Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Esperance by Adam Oyebanji. This is a book coming out May 20th, 2025. It's from DAW. It's a sci-fi mystery. I received this art from NetGalley in exchange for a fair review. A genre-blending tour de force, Esperance is a police procedural with a sci-fi twist. And look at that cover. Isn't that cover gorgeous? It's so pretty. What is it about? Detective Ethan Kroll has been called to the scene of a baffling case, a man and his son who appear to have been drowned in seawater, but the nearest ocean is 1,000 miles away. Holly Rogers doesn't want to ask too many questions of her new friend, Abby Enola. Abby claims to be an ordinary woman from Nigeria, but her high-tech gadgets and extraordinary physical abilities suggest she's not telling the whole truth. As Ethan's investigations begin to point towards Abby, Holly's fears mount, for Abby is very much not who she seems, and it won't be long before Ethan and Holly find themselves playing a part in a story that spans cultures, continents, and centuries. The story begins with a murder, as all good detective stories do, and a very fascinating mystery. I will warn you that the story begins with the death of an infant. It's not described in detail as the baby has already passed when the story begins, but it does happen. If you're sensitive to that, you might want to steer clear. As someone who does tend to avoid this kind of thing, I will say that it wasn't too bad. It was sad, but it didn't keep me up all night, upset by it. So there's that. It's told, it's not described in detail. Anyway, it sounds very odd to say this right after that little aside, but this book is excellent at straddling the line between serious and fun. The book has its somber moments, but it also allows itself space to breathe, to take a steep step back and drop some levity into the story, particularly regarding the character of Abby and her strange way of speaking and her kind of fish out of water elements. I loved those aspects, so I'm glad the book took the time to flush those out a bit. The characters are great, albeit not too deep. Ethan actually isn't very likable, as he's sort of the archetypal hard-boiled cop, though the fact that he's a dick does serve to make him realistic. It gives him a personality. Abby and Holly, by contrast, are a delight. Abby is tough as nails, but also naive and in an entertaining and endearing way. And Holly is just incredibly sweet. Their odd pair-up works. Holly is a counterculture kind of goth-focused person, and she finds Abby, this enigmatic, charming woman who is clearly also not telling the truth about anything, entirely fascinating. And Abby sees in Holly someone she misses from back home. I won't expand on that. It's not a character-driven story, though. We don't learn anything about Holly's backstory or much of Abby's until the reveal, but this book is more about the mystery than a psychological profile of the characters. Likewise, the murderer, while 100% unforgivable in his actions, has motives that make sense if you're a little bit nuts. So, and I mean, that's kind of the best villains in a way. The ones that you kind of understand where they're coming from, but you're also like, I would never go that far. So it's one of those kind of bad guys. The action scenes are top-notch with great descriptions, excellent detail, and strong tension. Because of the dead baby at the start of the book, you realize that no one is safe, so there's always this thought of, no, that can't happen. But then again, based on that, maybe it will. So that was actually, it did have my heart in my chest a bit near the end, and I think that was mainly to do with kind of the fact that I felt like nobody was safe. The sci-fi elements were well described as well, with just enough to make sense, but not enough for you to start to poke holes in it. For a rather long book, I flew through it, and I was super engaged, and I really, really enjoyed it. When it comes to the story itself, I'm not sure if we were supposed to guess the main twist right off the bat, though I did. But there was a sort of sub-twist regarding the character's motives that did catch me off guard. As such, while one part wasn't a surprise to me at all, the novel did have me doubting myself, and it threw some red herrings along the way that did have me say, maybe not. Without getting too deep into it for fear of spoilers, in essence, this is a book about the near personification of generational and historical trauma, a theme that I think the book pulled off very, very well. Overall, it is a great police procedural for those who like them with emotional heft and a sci-fi bent. It's not too sci-fi, it's not too outlandish, and it does have a very serious kind of under theme to it. So yeah, I thought it was really, really good. And thank you so much to the publisher and NetGalley for the e-arc. I really appreciate it. Thank you.